Once upon a winter's eve, a delicate baby snowflake named Crystal drifted down from the sky, buoyed by the whispers of the north wind. As she touched the ground, a magical sparkle surrounded her, giving her the gift of shimmering iridescence. Curious about the world, Crystal embarked on a journey through the snow-covered woods, where she encountered woodland creatures preparing for the festive season. Enchanted by their joyous spirit, she decided to spread the magic of winter. With each gentle descent, Crystal brought a touch of wonder to the world. She danced with the twinkling lights and adorned the trees with her intricate designs. Animals gathered around her, captivated by the beauty she bestowed upon the land. Word of Crystal's enchanting presence reached the North Pole, where Santa Claus himself heard of the remarkable baby snowflake. Intrigued, Santa invited Crystal to join the annual Christmas Eve journey. On Christmas Eve, as Santa's sleigh soared through the starlit sky, Crystal danced alongside the reindeer, leaving a trail of glimmering snowflakes that added to the festive atmosphere. Her delicate touch transformed the world into a winter wonderland. As dawn approached, Santa thanked Crystal for her magical contribution, promising to remember the baby snowflake's enchanting spirit in every snowy landscape. With a gentle gust of wind, Crystal ascended back to the heavens, leaving behind a legacy of joy and beauty that would be remembered for winters to come. And so, every Christmas, people would look up at the glistening snowflakes and feel the presence of the magical baby snowflake, whose brief but extraordinary journey had forever marked the season with enchantment. In the vast and icy expanse of the Arctic, where the snow-covered landscape stretched as far as the eye could see, lived a curious and kind-hearted polar bear named Blizzard. One chilly Christmas Eve, as the northern lights painted the sky in hues of green and violet, Blizzard was exploring the frozen tundra when he noticed a twinkling light falling from the sky. As the light descended, it transformed into a beautifully wrapped present, landing softly in a pile of snow. Intrigued, Blizzard approached the gift, adorned with festive ribbons and sparkling with holiday magic. The taggery to a special friend from Santa. Realizing that this present was meant for someone special, Blizzard decided to take it upon himself to ensure it reached its destination. With the spirit of Christmas guiding him, he set off on a journey that would take him far and wide across the Arctic wilderness. Through icy fjords and snowy forests, Blizzard traversed the frozen landscape, his massive paws leaving a trail in the snow. Along the way, he encountered fellow Arctic creatures from playful seals to wise old owls, all of whom felt the warmth of the holiday season. As they joined Blizzard in this quest, as Blizzard traveled, the northern lights seemed to dance in celebration above him, casting a magical glow on the snowy path ahead. His determination to deliver the present grew stronger with each passing mile, fueled by the joyous anticipation of the recipient. Finally, after crossing frozen rivers and climbing snow-capped mountains, Blizzard arrived at a cozy Inuit village nestled among the icebergs. The villagers, surprised and delighted by the unexpected visitor, gathered around as Blizzard placed the gift in the center of the village square. Just as Blizzard stepped back, the air filled with the faint jingling of sleigh bells. From above, a familiar figure descended with a hearty ho, ho, ho. It was Santa Claus himself. Grateful for Blizzard's selfless journey to deliver the present, Santa explained that the present was indeed meant for a special friend in the village, and Blizzard's act of kindness had made the holiday even more magical. The villagers cheered, and Blizzard, now surrounded by new friends, felt a warmth in his heart that rivaled even the coziest of igloos. As the northern lights continued to shimmer in the Arctic sky, Blizzard and the villagers celebrated Christmas together, sharing stories, laughter, and the joy of giving. And so, in that faraway Arctic village, a new tradition was born: the tale of Blizzard, the polar bear who delivered Christmas cheer, a story told around the glow of the northern lights for generations to come. In a small town nestled between snow-covered hills, there lived a man named Ebenezer Grump. Ebenezer was known far and wide for his gruff demeanor and his pessimistic outlook on life. He had long ago given up on the holiday spirit, finding no joy in the festive decorations or the laughter that echoed through the streets during Christmas. One bitterly cold evening, as Ebenezer trudged home, he stumbled upon a quaint cottage hidden within the snowy woods. An elderly woman, known as Ella the Enchantress, lived there. She was rumored to have the power to change hearts with a single spell. Ella, having observed Ebenezer's gloomy disposition, decided that this Christmas, he needed a change. On Christmas Eve, she cast a spell upon him that would force him to act with kindness, whether he liked it or not. The next morning, Ebenezer awoke to find himself compelled to perform acts of goodwill. He tried to resist, but an invisible force guided his actions. He grumbled as he shoveled snow for his elderly neighbor, scowled as he carried groceries for a struggling family, and sighed deeply as he helped decorate the town square. Despite his protests, the townspeople were astonished by the sudden transformation in Ebenezer. As he begrudgingly spread holiday cheer, his heart began to soften. The curse, it seemed, was having an unexpected effect. As Christmas Eve approached, Ella visited Ebenezer to lift the curse. She revealed herself and explained the purpose of her enchantment. Ebenezer, who had initially been furious, found himself reflecting on the genuine joy he had brought to others. Touched by the experience, Ebenezer decided to embrace the holiday spirit willingly. He apologized to those he had previously dismissed and thanked Ella for the unexpected gift of kindness. Grateful for the change in his heart, he invited the elderly enchantress to join him for a Christmas feast. The town, witnessing Ebenezer's transformation, welcomed him with open arms. The once grumpy man became a symbol of the power of kindness and the possibility of change, inspiring others to look beyond their own troubles and embrace the spirit of Christmas. And so, in that small town, under the glow of twinkling lights and the falling snow, Ebenezer got to learn that even the most hardened hearts could be softened by the magic of Christmas and the unexpected kindness that resides within us all.
In a world where holiday traditions blurred the lines between the fantastical and the mundane, Krampus, the legendary Christmas demon, found himself intrigued by the warmth of human companionship. One snowy evening, Krampus decided to step away from his usual mischievous antics to embark on a peculiar adventure and a date with a kind-hearted human named Emily. With his chains jingling and horns adorned with festive bells, Krampus nervously approached Emily, who was taken aback by the unexpected encounter. To her surprise, Krampus wasn't there to scare or punish. Instead, he awkwardly extended a clawed hand, asking if she'd accompany him to a holiday fair. Curiosity overcoming fear, Emily agreed, and together they navigated the bustling fairgrounds adorned with twinkling lights and the joyful sounds of laughter. Krampus, surprisingly charming in his own way, shared stories of ancient Yuletide traditions and the importance of embracing both light and darkness during Christmas. As they strolled through the fair, Krampus couldn't help but feel a twinge of warmth in his frosty heart. Emily's kindness and open-mindedness began to chip away at the centuries-old image of the fearsome demon. He even found himself chuckling at the carnival games and indulging in sweet treats. Underneath the starlit sky, Krampus and Emily discovered a makeshift ice skating rink. Despite his hooves and her initial skepticism, they ventured onto the ice together, sharing laughter and awkward slips. The more they skated, the more Krampus realized that the spirit of Christmas wasn't confined to one side of the holiday spectrum. As the night came to an end, Krampus, touched by the unexpected joy of the evening, gave Emily a small, mischievously wrapped present. To his delight, she opened it to find a beautifully crafted ornament and a symbol of their unlikely but memorable date. With a gentle farewell, Krampus disappeared into the wintry night, leaving Emily with a newfound appreciation for the complexities of holiday traditions. The town, previously wary of the Christmas demon, began to rethink the tales of Krampus, wondering if, beneath the frightful exterior, there might be a desire for connection and understanding. And so, in that peculiar Christmas tale, Krampus and Emily proved that even the most unexpected companionships could find warmth in the spirit of the season, leaving the town with a story to be retold for years to come. In a small American town where the love for football rivaled even the most fervent holiday traditions, a Christmas miracle was about to unfold. The annual Christmas Day football game, anticipated by the entire community, was met with an unexpected surprise and a blizzard that blanketed the field in a thick layer of snow. Undeterred by the wintry weather, the teams, the Reindeer Rockets and the Snowflake Smashers, decided to forge ahead with the game. Excitement buzzed through the air as players donned festive Santa hats and the crowd, bundled in layers of winter clothing, cheered in anticipation. The first kickoff was like a burst of holiday magic as the players navigated the snow-covered field with both skill and laughter. The white flakes swirled around them, creating an enchanting spectacle that made the game feel like a winter wonderland. The quarterback, clad in a red and white jersey reminiscent of Santa's suit, skillfully threw snow-covered passes, while the receivers leaped through the air, leaving trails of powdery snow in their wake. The running backs, resembling speedy snow sprites, gracefully maneuvered through the field, leaving the opposing team in all of their icy prowess. As the blizzard intensified, the game transformed into a whimsical dance of athleticism and holiday spirit. Touchdowns were celebrated with snowball fights, and the sidelines were adorned with makeshift snowmen and Christmas decorations. The crowd, initially shivering in the cold, found warmth in the joyous atmosphere. Families huddled together, sipping hot cocoa and sharing laughter, as they watched the spectacle unfold. Even the referees, wrapped in layers of winter gear, couldn't help but smile at the unique blend of competition and festive camaraderie. In the final moments of the game, with the snow falling in gentle flurries, the reindeer rockets emerged victorious. The players, flushed with excitement and frosty breath, gathered at the center of the field to exchange greetings and share a heartfelt rendition of Jingle Bells. The snow-covered football field, now transformed into a snowy spectacle, became a symbol of the town's resilient holiday spirit. As the players and spectators dispersed, they carried with them not only memories of a memorable football game but also the magic of celebrating Christmas in the most unexpected and delightful way. And so, in that snowy town, the Christmas Day football game during the blizzard became a cherished tradition, reminding everyone that sometimes the most magical moments happen when you least expect them. In a quirky twist of events, a mix-up at the military headquarters led to a hilarious case of mistaken identity during Christmas at the North Pole. The radar, detecting unusual activity, sparked concern among military officials who, in an unforeseen blunder, believed they had identified a potential threat at Santa's workshop. Unaware of the festive preparations underway, a squadron of army elves clad in camouflage gear descended upon the North Pole, armed with candy cane rifles and tinsel-covered tanks. Confusion ensued, as Santa and his team of reindeer, along with a bewildered group of elves, were caught off guard by the unexpected attack. Amidst the chaos, Santa, known for his diplomatic spirit, rushed to the front lines with a jolly belly laugh. He invited the army elves to join the festive celebration, assuring them that the North Pole was all about spreading joy, not causing trouble. The army elves, realizing their festive faux pas, exchanged amused glances before embracing the holiday spirit. Candy cane rifles were transformed into confetti cannons, and tinsel-covered tanks became makeshift sleighs adorned with twinkling lights. The military-turned-merry ensemble joined Santa and his elves in preparing for Christmas Eve. As the night unfolded, the army elves discovered the joy of gift-giving and spreading cheer. They couldn't help but be enchanted by the whimsical world of the North Pole, where toy-making workshops and reindeer stables coexisted with candy cane forests and gingerbread houses. In the end, what started as a potential military operation turned into an unexpected alliance between the armed forces and the festive residents of the North Pole. The army elves, having experienced the magic of Christmas firsthand, promised to spread tales of goodwill and holiday cheer in their travels. And so, in the annals of holiday history, the year the military accidentally targeted the North Pole became a legendary tale of laughter, unity, and the power of Christmas magic to bring even the most unlikely allies together in the spirit of joy. Amid the twinkling lights and festive decorations, a group of homeless children cuddled together in the cold shadows of the city. Winter's icy fingers gripped the streets, and their tattered clothes offered little defense against the biting wind. Christmas approached with a bittersweet promise, as the children dreamt of warmth and the simple joy of unwrapping a gift. As Christmas Eve settled upon the city, the children watched through frost-covered windows, as families gathered around decorated trees, exchanging laughter and presents. Their eyes, reflecting both resilience and longing, glistened with unspoken hopes. A compassionate soul, a volunteer named Emma, noticed the children's silent plight. Determined to bring a flicker of warmth to their cold reality, she gathered a few essentials and small gifts. With a heavy heart, she approached the group, offering what little comfort she could. In the glow of a dim street lamp, Emma shared stories and handed out blankets and hot meals. The children, their faces etched with gratitude, clutched the modest gifts as treasures. Despite the bitter cold, a fleeting warmth enveloped the makeshift gathering, as Emma reminded them that they were not forgotten. In the quiet of that winter night, the children drifted into a restless sleep, dreaming of a Christmas that seemed just out of reach. The city lights shimmered above, mirroring the tears that went unseen. As dawn broke on Christmas morning, the city slowly awakened to a new day. Emma, moved by the resilience of those she had met, vowed to continue her efforts. The homeless children, though lacking material presents, had received something profound in dash a moment of kindness that echoed through the cold corridors of their lives. The story of that silent Christmas lingered, a poignant reminder of the many unseen struggles endured by those on the fringes of society. And in the echoes of that night, the city whispered tales of both sorrow and the enduring spark of human compassion. In a magical twist of fate, Santa Claus and his trusty reindeer found themselves on an unexpected adventure in the vast and scorching Sahara desert. It all began when a mischievous gust of wind diverted Santa's sleigh from its usual course, leading them far away from the snowy landscapes they knew so well. As Santa and the reindeer touched down on the golden sands, they realized they were far from the familiar chimneys and snow-covered rooftops. The once jolly atmosphere turned into a sandy spectacle, and the reindeer, bewildered, shook the desert dust from their antlers. Santa, ever the optimist, reassured his reindeer team with a hearty laugh. "Well, my friends, it seems we've stumbled upon a new part of the world. Let's make the best of it and bring a touch of Christmas to the desert." With a twinkle in his eye, Santa called upon his magical sack, which, to his delight, was filled with snow-making dust. The reindeer, rejuvenated by the festive spirit, frolicked through the sandy dunes, leaving trails of white footprints in their wake. Santa, sporting sunglasses and a wide-brimmed hat, began crafting sand sculptures of toys and Christmas trees, bringing a desert charm to the holiday season. As word spread of Santa's unexpected visit, nomadic families and curious animals gathered around, enchanted by the festive spectacle unfolding in the arid landscape. Despite the unconventional setting, Santa and his reindeer embraced the warmth of the Sahara. The joy of giving and the spirit of Christmas echoed through the desert winds, leaving a magical imprint on the hearts of those who had never imagined celebrating the season in such a unique way. As the night sky descended over the golden sands, Santa and his reindeer bid farewell to their newfound friends, leaving behind a trail of twinkling stars. The desert, once an unfamiliar terrain, had become a part of the global map of Christmas magic. And so, in the lore of holiday tales, the year Santa Claus and his reindeer got lost in the Sahara Desert became a story of resilience, adaptability, and the universal spirit of joy that transcends even the most unexpected challenges. Mariah Carey, the undisputed queen of Christmas, found herself in a festive pickle one winter. As she sat surrounded by twinkling lights and tinsel, she was determined to create the next iconic Christmas song. However, every attempt seemed to fall flat, leaving her with more frustration than holiday cheer. In her luxurious winter-themed studio, Mariah played Jingle Bells on a miniature piano and tried to brainstorm catchy lyrics. But inspiration remained elusive, and the only melody she could summon was the sound of her own exasperated sighs. "I just need a fresh idea," Mariah groaned, sipping cocoa from a mug shaped like a snowman. She glanced at her fluffy slippers, wondering if a song about the perils of cozy winter footwear would be a hit. In a fit of creativity, she scribbled lyrics about socks that mysteriously disappeared in the laundry and slippers that seemed to have a secret agenda of their own. Despite the amusing premise, Mariah couldn't shake the feeling that she was straying too far from the classic Christmas vibe. As she mulled over ideas, Mariah's mischievous cat, Jingles, knocked over a stack of jingle bells. The festive cacophony filled the room, and suddenly, a light bulb appeared above Mariah's head, in true cartoon fashion. Why not embrace the chaos of the holidays, she thought. With renewed vigor, Mariah embraced the mishaps and absurdities that often accompany the festive season. She composed a song about tangled Christmas lights, mischievous gingerbread men, and the perpetual struggle of finding the end of the wrapping paper roll. In no time, Mariah's frustration turned into laughter, and she found herself singing a whimsical tune that captured the essence of the holiday mishaps we all know and love. The catchy chorus echoed through the studio, and Mariah couldn't help but dance along with her entourage of festive elves. In the end, Mariah Carey had not only created a hilarious and relatable Christmas song but also learned that sometimes, the best inspiration comes from the merry mayhem of the holiday season. And so, her new song became an instant hit, reminding everyone that laughter is the perfect soundtrack for the most wonderful time of the year. In the fiery realm where shadows dance, a twisted tale of hell's dark romance. A Christmas ballad of the underworld, where flames unfurl and demons twirl. Deep within the abyss of red, hell's Santa ruled, a tale to be spread. His name was Krampus Infernal, they say, a horned figure in a devilish sleigh. His reindeer, fierce with eyes aflame, pulled the chariot, the underworld's claim. Down through the fiery chimneys he'd go, leaving behind a sulphurous glow. Krampus Infernal with a wicked grin, brought not gifts, but torment within. His sack held chains and rattling chains, for those whose souls had darkened stains. He visited sinners, those lost and cold, a story in hell's chronicles told. His naughty list etched in fiery scrolls, marking the damned and tortured souls. Through brimstone and ash, his sleigh took flight, a ghastly silhouette against the infernal night. He roamed the realms with a devilish glee, spreading dread and misery. No stockings hung by the hellish hearth, only echoes of torment and demonic mirth. Krampus Infernal, a fiendish sight, delivered pain in the unholy night. Yet, in the fiery depths, a lesson to find, in the darkest corners of a tormented mind. For in this tale from the depths below, lies a warning for those who choose to sow. In the underworld's cold, relentless clutch, Krampus Infernal, a legend to touch. A ballad sung with a fiery breath, of Christmas in hell, where souls meet death. Once upon a time in the whimsical town of Jingleville, lived a little kindergarten girl named Gracie McBumble. Gracie, with her untamed pigtails and a penchant for mud pies, was known for her lack of Christmas spirit that baffled everyone in the festive town. While other kids excitedly decorated gingerbread houses and eagerly awaited Santa's arrival, Gracie remained unimpressed. She found the whole holiday hullabaloo rather perplexing. One day, as Gracie's kindergarten class prepared for the annual Christmas play, she declared with an air of nonchalance, "I don't get the big deal about Christmas. It's just a bunch of shiny stuff and glittery nonsense." Gracie's bold proclamation caught the attention of her quirky teacher, Mrs. Twinkletoes. Determined to sprinkle some holiday cheer onto Gracie's world, Mrs. Twinkletoes hatched a plan. She decided that the key to unlocking Gracie's Christmas spirit was a field trip to the Jingleville National Bank and Dash, because nothing says Christmas like a bank visit, right? The class, with Gracie reluctantly in tow, marched to the bank, where they were greeted by festive display of tinsel-covered teller booths and candy cane pins. Mrs. Twinkletoes, in her jingling elf hat, explained, "Kids, we are going to spread Christmas joy by opening savings accounts for our imaginary friends." As the kids scribbled on the deposit slips for their invisible buddies, Gracie rolled her eyes. Little did they know that across town, a gang of bungling robbers, the Jingle Bells Bandits, had hatched a plan to rob the bank on the same day. In a twist of chaotic fate, the robbers burst into the bank, jingling all the way. The kindergarten class, thinking it was all part of the holiday festivities, burst into a spirited rendition of Jingle Bells. Mrs. Twinkletoes, in her elf hat, began to jingle dance, and even Gracie, unable to resist the absurdity of the situation, joined in with a giggle. As the Jingle Bells Bandits were arrested, the bank turned into a spectacle of holiday hilarity. News spread across Jingleville about the kindergarten class's accidental heroic intervention. Back at school, Gracie found herself swept up in the laughter and merriment. Mrs. Twinkletoes, with a twinkle in her eye, said, "Looks like we found your Christmas spirit, Gracie and Dash, right in the midst of a bank robbery." And so, in the comically absurd town of Jingleville, Gracie McBumble discovered that sometimes, the spirit of Christmas could sneak up on you in the most unexpected and hilarious ways. In the heart of the North Pole, where joy usually echoed through candy cane forests, Santa Claus found himself grappling with a heavy heart. Unbeknownst to many, Santa harbored the weight of childhood trauma that cast a shadow over his usually jolly spirit. One chilly winter evening, as snowflakes gently fell from the sky, Mrs. Claus noticed the sadness in Santa's eyes. Determined to lift his spirits, she gathered the elves and hatched a plan to bring a twinkle back to Santa's eyes. they decided to embark on a journey down memory lane, revisiting the enchanting moments of Santa's own childhood. Mrs. Claus, with her warm smile, presented a magical snow globe that transported them to the cozy living room of young Kris Kringle. As they peered into the snow globe, scenes of a small, bespectacled Kris playing with handmade toys unfolded. Mrs. Claus and the elves giggled as they saw little Kris's eyes light up with joy, despite the challenges he faced as a child. Inspired by the resilience of their beloved Santa, the group decided to throw a surprise dinner party to celebrate his strength and bring back the magic of Christmas. The elves worked tirelessly, baking gingerbread cookies, crafting festive decorations, and preparing a feast fit for a king. The night of the party arrived, and the workshop transformed into a festive wonderland. Mrs. Claus donned her favorite holiday gown, and the elves, in their tiniest tuxedos, welcomed Santa with twinkling eyes. As Santa entered the room, he was greeted by familiar melodies from his childhood, played by a band of musical elves. Mrs. Claus led him to a table adorned with flickering candles and festive treats, reminiscent of the comforting warmth of his childhood home. With a heartwarming toast, Mrs. Claus shared stories of young Kris's indomitable spirit and the joy he brought to others even in challenging times. The elves, with their mischievous smiles, performed whimsical skits and shared laughter that echoed through the workshop. In the midst of the celebration, Santa felt a profound sense of gratitude and love. Mrs. Claus and the elves had succeeded in not only cheering him up but also in reminding him of the transformative power of love and joy. As the night came to a close, Santa, with tears of gratitude in his eyes, embraced Mrs. Claus and the elves. The workshop echoed with laughter, music, and the timeless magic of Christmas, a magic that could heal even the deepest wounds of the heart. And so, in the North Pole, the resilient spirit of Santa Claus, nurtured by the love of Mrs. Claus and the whimsy of the elves, continued to shine brightly, illuminating the hearts of all who celebrated the magic of the season.